just for me, yo. Not with all the fake check-ins. Either you from the soil or you're not. And this ain't even a half. They've displaced you, engine, replace you, engine, erase you through paper. Genocide, engine, land session agreements, a fake space. View engine, change dates to purposely displace you, engine. Ex-shouting, tax you on your own. Land engine, you a child, not a grown woman, a grown man engine. In fact, you black, you that person in all caps on them contracts. Legal fiction, non-living show. Damn, engine, how long will you let them debase you, deface you? An engine, no one is coming to save you. A brave new world awaits you, engine. They intend to continue to rape and enslave you, bound to a remix of religion. A graven image that reach at the same station. They played you, engine, the same unseen hand. You just wait, can't slay you, engine. It's the return of the ancient ones. We back. We want everything ill. Hold fast, let me get that. Out the whip that. Gift rap, not with rhetoric. Chit chat, shit back, go back and forth. On platforms for an intro scratch. Rich that for a Kit Kat or a Big Mac. Temporary contentment that don't kiss back. Shit swag. We here to get our shit back. Restoration of what was overthrown. American engines, old organic gold, not provolone. Home alone, all foreigners gone. Shafati, shoot, Hebrew, Muslim, Mason, Morris, Cornerstone. Fraternal orders up, harsh wrong. You've no substantial foundation. Flawless zone. Bottomless pit up, broken promises. Home through landlines or cordless phones. Lines lay lines aligned with constellations. Rocks cry out till the land, till the sword is gone and corn is grown. The war is on. Our words won't. Show. We're all foreigners off the land. It includes all you corporations, all you different nationalities. Anything that isn't American engine, you need to get the fuck off. We ain't playing this time. We understand exactly what y'all motherfuckers did.
What the goal of the billionaire class is to remake the world as a digital simulation, really, to digitalize, to steal life. It is an anti-life program. It's moving from carbon-based life to silicon-based life, to a digital twin of the world that they can control, that is disconnected from spirit.
I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work and left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We gotta protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no pops. These Mola worshiping pedophiles wanna feed our children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon place the silicone base should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system irrigation and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm set, I'm not some master teacher. No, am I some pastor or preacher? Was released from prison with this passion to speak of. After doing 25 years in the beast cuffs. Realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment. And they're framing it to us as, innovation, right? We should all be so excited that this is happening. And, I equate it to, like the golem, bringing in, like, these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
What's going on, beloveds? I'm going to go ahead and get started reading. I didn't want to go like 5-10 minutes. This is what they say. Check this out what they said on the thing. I'm going to take a screenshot and share it with you. We are unable to monetize it, right? Because this is what they said. Too much reused content. First of all, when people use content because it means something. See, this is the hypocrisy. Just like 66% of Google is all lies. It leans to the left because, they even tell you what they're doing. So I don't care about that. But what I'm saying is you would think people would stop stupiding when you advise them to something if we're into revealing things. And if something reveals something, you would think that the etiquette would be like to be intelligent and comprehensible. Well, they're not. That's why I said I'm enjoying this, because they're really stupid. Now, anyway, so they said you got to use, first thing was when you go to the studio and you use copyrighted music that said copyright free for background and, to utilize. They said, oh, but that's copyrighted because you had these goofy ass Spanish brothers, or probably Arabs playing Spanish in Mexico or whatever, right? Because there's a lot of Arabs playing Mexican, right? They've been there since all this has taken place. Like I told y'all, there's a lot of, I have homies, people who I respect, who are Arab, and that they'll be like, I'm Lebanese, but I'm Mexican, 5th generation. Like, what? And it exists, okay? But when I started finding out by this Russian guy, he has a whole squad, and they've been laying in on these people who have been scamming people. Well, now it's probably going to be kind of impossible, seeing how the government decided to go ahead and give everybody, I don't know if it's the IRS, the FBI, somebody within those who gave everybody their social security numbers, to which doesn't matter to me. But the reality is, when these individuals let me know this stuff, that's why I'm saying what I say. I just don't say it because I want to make it up and throw people under the bus who don't deserve to be. And if you feel some kind of way and you're not cleaning it up in your backyard, then that's your problem. But anyway, again, they were hijacking accounts that were literally for creators. And the music was used plenty of times, Western and all kind of stuff. Not stuff commercial. They were copywriting it to try and gain a fast dollar. That's how stupid these individuals are. About a damn worthless dollar. The world is crazy. And anyway, and then I find out the music's not really copyrighted. These people don't own it. And I would put it in the pill, all this stuff. But because you have these fake Jews and you have these politrick, whitewashed individuals that think they're superior when they haven't done nothing, created nothing, they got a degree of stupidity. You know what I'm saying? This is what we deal with. So I said, why put the pill in? This is a further review of human review. Who? This is what I'm saying. Court's a joke. Judges are a joke. You get a ticket. You're co-signing so the police officer don't pay it, and they're going to use taxes to make you afraid when you're a traveler and you're not working in commerce. This is the hypocrisy of everything because most people don't know these things. So I said, okay, so reuse content. Reuse from where? If I'm using it from TikTok, that's not liable. That's allowable. Everybody's doing it. And most of the time, my reading is just me, unless I decide to do what was considered grind my gears. And that's what I do. I was doing that long before it was done with Peter Griffin of the cartoon. You know what I'm saying? I was doing grind my gears. I don't know. They probably like and one stole that from me. But the thing is, I was doing grind my gears when I was living in New York before South, whatever that TV cartoon, which was created by the original, well, melanated. See, that's what I'm talking about. All they do is stupid. They think they can hijack everything, and they got these little dummies that come along, don't know nothing about history. And so I was like, really? So this is what they do. And you can now you can't use music, even if people say you can use it. If it ain't copyright, I can use any goddamn music. I have my own music. I choose to. You see what I'm saying? This is how stupid they are. Because I watch a lot of lives. People monetize playing their music, playing other people's music. Look at Mr. Organic with his corny raps. This is the reality. This is the reality of the world that y'all invested in, and then y'all think your vote's supposed to matter. No, it doesn't. But this is what I'm saying. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I can wait 3 months. Don't mean I'm gonna be doing anything. They're trying to get the numbers up so I can tell the story. This is how stupid these agents, these goofies, whatever you want to call them. I don't have to say what they are. It's for you to figure it out. But whatever they are, okay? I'll sit there and be like, give me another 3,500. Give me 100,000 before I tell this. I have the story to tell and nobody knows it. Only about several people know the story. 2 of them are dead. Found out one more was dead. Okay? Literal, got to get the ooey, owie, owie, and got all the damn extra zoops. Pulmonary embolism, and nobody in his family ever had heart attacks. O negative. Just eating, barbecuing, eating crap, going out to Fat Olive Garden, everything, Taco Bell's, Burger King, make that, Burger Kill, make death, what's the one for White Castle? White Casket, all that stuff. And that's how he lived. And he's from a hometown. He had a boom, fell down the stairs, all the family, So, you know what I mean? So we're going to go ahead and get into 100 Years of Lynching. I'm just going to read one. Then we'll get into Negro Project. And I'm waiting to get my numbers up on TikTok. I see some people came over and subscribed. Appreciate you. And when I get the numbers where I can go ahead and go live, that's where I'm going to do the read. I'm going to do the read live. Whoever comes in or whatever, I'm just going to read straight through. And I'm going to do like I used to do for the Melanated Sisters of Wolf Avenue, who used to have me come and read for them. I just ate steak, avocado, some more. I made a quick half a cup of jasmine rice with half a stick of butter, a little Celtic salt, a little bit of real black pepper, and a dash of vinegar, and I am getting gassed like a mug. So thank goodness y'all not here. No, I'm just kidding. So let's go ahead and get into it. Appreciate you. Omek, Delicious, Marcus, DeAndre, Snoop. What's up, baby girl? Raw V, what's happening, beloved? I shout out everybody. Omek, True Fanatic. I didn't see what you. Oh, it was hidden by Marcus. I don't know what you said, but anyway. Marcus, what's up, beloved? Millennial. Appreciate it if it was something stupid. What's going on, Joe? What's happening, beloved? What's cracking? Oh man, I like that yin and yang sign, cuz for real. I gotta see if I can get that, cause I when I was doing Tai Chi, I studied Wu-Dang, Tai Chi Chuan, for about 8 years before I went and studied under Grandmaster Cam Lee. I told y'all to look him up. He's in Miami. He's about 80-something years. That's the one that taught me 5 Ancestral Kung Fu. You can watch him if he's still performing. I haven't talked to him in about, I think I talked to him. I made a phone call once when I was live, like 3 years ago. And he was like, how's it going? I was like, it's all right for me to teach Chan style Kung Fu for 5 Ancestral. And he's like, yeah, his English is good. Like I said, he's probably in his 80s or something like that by now. 70s or 80s. Grandmaster Cam Lee. 5 Ancestral Kung Fu. He has many YouTube videos up. I don't know if he has any videos when I was doing the dragon dance and, doing the cultural fairs all throughout Florida. And even I think we went to Louisiana. We went a lot of places, Hong Kong. But check him out. I have the robe, a real one that's old. I barely fit in it because I'm so big. But I have all these different, they call it yin and yang. That's not what they are. But I have them all over the back of it and all over the front. From everywhere, even the swastika ones from Hindu, South America, everywhere. So that's awesome. It looks. I like that way. I like the way it looks. All right, see, you messed up right there, brother. You come in one of that goofy stuff. You just wanted to throw some up. That's not trolling. That just sounds stupid. That way. What's up, beloved? Chris Angel. Okay. Not that kind of angel, brother. Trust me. Millennial. Got you. That's my baby girl. Snoo. Got you, Snoo. That's my baby girl. Well, it's gratitude to see you here all the time. Indigo Turtle. What's going on? T. Hines. What's good? Cidanelli. What's happening? Yeah, see, if you come in here and you're not just coming in for the reading and you just want to bug out, you're gone. Shout out for, hey, what's going on, Dylan Ganga? If you're in South Africa, much appreciated. I actually got some homies from South Africa who sit here and watch, and we chat on Instagram all the time. And in the UK too, who are from South Africa, and a couple in Russia from South Africa. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So, lost the page. Oh, here we go. Oh, so this is 100 Years of Lynching. I told you I had to order another book. It's a small one on the first lynchings. And I know some of the brothers and sisters are going to feel some kind of way, but our light-skinned brothers and sisters need to know the truth. That there were people here with us, and they had to murder them in order to do what they did and there were more who fought alongside us. You need to know that. But they couldn't kill them all. They figured that out. And they couldn't poison everybody because some of the poison they were using, we were able to counter it. Because you got to remember, they poisoned a lot of our people. The Holocaust is to play off something. That's fraud. Our people, the genocide of our people here, and then the mishmack of making people exist here that never exist here, that's something that you have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Every day. Doesn't mean you have to throw it in people's faces. Just be silent with it. And trust in me when I tell you this. Don't be arguing and debating with people no more. Stop it. Let them be in their little place, their little zone of existence. That's all it is. It's not even a number. It's beneath a zero. Okay? But it's actually going to speak on the first 100 light-skinned folks that were murdered, lynched. Because they were conspiring to start murdering our people after they had already killed thousands upon thousands. And we were still at war and beating their butts. That's why we weren't in our cities. We were fighting all up into the 1940s, y'all. Y'all ain't no real history. All right? Well, and that's why you got these fake Indians playing Seminole, and you got these ignorant Negroes who don't know no better. A handful do know that are in Florida and Louisiana. They know. They done whooped a couple little Seminoles behinds in the streets. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because those ones are frauds that came in the picture around the 1950s and 60s that should have never been there. All right? And you know how it is. Handshake, allied with us. And then next you know, when people are dying off because of wars, being sent to wars, drafted into wars, they assimilate, and now they run around like there's some big sticks. All right? It's not the case. I just met some French women at the gunfighter because I did a little video. You knew they were melanated. And this is the whitewashing of history, because I'm looking at the babies. I'm like, look like a little Negro's baby. And I'm looking at the husband. They look like they're Arab. But these are melanated, whitewashed, French. And I'm looking at the features. And everything is prominent. Very beautiful women. But you can see it. And it's like either they're ignorant to it or that's the go-to. And it's pretty sickening when you start seeing it. And especially when you've been all around the world in the 80s and you're like, something is different. And these people are born after you went in the military. It's like, you can't make it up. So let's go ahead and get into this one article here. Birmingham, Alabama News. All right. Now, Birmingham, Alabama News is a news article. It doesn't mean that's the place where it happened. I need y'all to be mindful. Like I say, the Jersey Stars and Stripes. It could be actually the newspaper is talking about somewhere in Georgia or somewhere in Arkansas, okay? So again, Birmingham, Alabama News, March 8th, listen to this, 1960. Negro is hanged by heels. Negro and an African are two different people. It's not about the Bible or anything. It's just the reality of it. Because nobody in Africa was ever called Negro. Never. Negro is hanged by heels. K's are cut into his body. Houston, Texas, March 8th. 4 masked white youths hung a Negro man from a tree by his heels last night and carved 2 series of K's, that means a total of 6 K's, into his chest and stomach after beating him with chains, allegedly in reprisal for recent sit-in demonstrations by Negro students at Texas Southern University. Felton Turner, 27-year-old unemployed awning worker, told police that he was walking near his home in the Negro section at 10:15 last night when a car with 4 masked pale-skinned youths pulled up, grabbed him, and forced him to come with them. They drove to a wooded area where he was tied and hung from a tree by his heels. The youths beat him with chains, cut off his clothes. Y'all real gay with that Klan stuff. With knives, slashed K's about 3 inches high into his stomach and chest. One of the white youths said the wounds were in reprisal for sit-ins at lunch counters in Houston by Texas. What's funny is the Africans can eat, you can pull pictures of the Africans ate in all those restaurants. Southern University Negro students. Anyway, Houston by Texas sit-in lunch counters in Houston by Texas Southern University Negro students. A group of students from the all-Negro universities staged their first sit-in Friday at a lunch counter in a supermarket. The sit-in spread to a drugstore Saturday and a third store yesterday. Now, Police Lieutenant Breckenridge Porter said Turner's wounds could not have been self-inflicted. Well, if they weren't just some of the dumbest people back then, I just wanted to read something that wasn't so gruesome, with the bodies being riddled with bullets, with thousands of bystanders standing around for one individual, and then to burn him to ash and take ornaments of his body. That's, I don't want to keep reading morbid stuff. When we get into the delectable Negro, some of y'all will be like, please go back and read, the 400 years, the 100 years of lynching, because the delectable Negro, That's why I always tell people, like, if you're going to come over here and run your mouth, you wouldn't want to meet me in person. And because a lot of you are frauds. Internet tough guys are just chumps. But this one right here, we're not reading that right now, okay? Let's go ahead and get the Negro Project, Margaret Sanger, the 5 Ds. I'm not going to read it, the despicable, duplicitous, blah, blah, blah. All right? There she is. I'm going to show her probably one more time reading this, and then I won't show her again. All right? She doesn't get that respect. Okay, here we go. Remember, it's forwarded by Ron Edwards, okay? So let's get it in here. Now, the 1913 law that so inspired the Nazis and some of their allies in the United States was amended in 1917 and again in 1923. On the first occasion, to add, those suffering from perversions or marked departures from normal mentality, they called those perversions back then when you were mentally, because of the things they were shooting people up with, or from disease of the syphilic nature. And what they won't tell you about this, what most people don't know about the World's Fair, those incubators and all those things they were utilizing to speedily bring a new race of people here so they can corrupt, and those are the ones that would end up, their children would end up being the ones lynching ours. Okay? They were manipulating and playing with their DNA. That's why you have a lot of the crazy and Down syndrome and all that stuff that never existed before that. All right, even syphilis and gonorrhea and all that stuff. I mean, you got the black caps in Vietnam, and look, in Taiwan. How do you think it got there in the Philippines? Who do you think created it? Look it up. And on the second, to expand the list to include prisoners who were convicted of molesting young girls under the age of 10. Wellerstein writes that no further changes to this legislation took place until 1951. They had to have people experiment on it. Now, when the law was substantially rewritten as part of a general overhaul of health legislation, and that's pretty crazy, because this is what they do. They keep making these fictional laws to keep them entitled to do the sick things they do. Now, Laughlin had issues with the California law, but they were more in the way in which it was worded that he had a problem than in how effective it was. Now, for instance, he believed it lacked specificity. Oh goodness, specificity. I can't even get. See, this is what happens when you start speaking other languages. Because I was working on my Spanish, y'all, like a mofo. So you figure I'm ready to get the rolling R's in. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I would say specificality. But here it says, let me make sure I get this word out. Specificity. Specificity. I can say the damn word. I said it a little while ago. I was looking at it. What is going on here? Specificity. It's a messed up word. Specificality. God damn it. Excuse my language. And rely too much on the use of the word, on the word may, which appeared no less than 7 times in its original form when it came to who had authority to order a sterilization procedure. Now, to him to use, to him, the use of such a word defeated the very idea of compliance. This is smudge. I don't know why it's like that. For a law to be compulsory for the physicians, mind you, he wrote, then of course there must be no gaps in its chain of mandates, which begins with the order for appointment of executive officers and ends with the actual surgical procedure of sterilization. Now, y'all need to know they practice this down in Central and South America too. Are y'all aware of that? It became a big thing for a while. Especially, I gotta look it up. What's the name of that person? Anyway, I gotta look it up. I forget his name. A single may inserted in the chain of execution makes the whole procedure an optional one. Now, what is pare and colon, semicolon? Well, I have no idea. I even looked it up. It made no sense to me. So a single may inserted in the chain of execution makes the whole procedure an optional one, or at least a non-compulsory one. To Laughlin, the absence of any language mandating action on the part of doctors was not only pointless, but totally unsatisfactory and unacceptable. I know some of you are going to look it up. I am talking about in the lineage of what, in the narrative idea of what they're discussing. So when I looked it up, it made no sense. I was like, so maybe it's a word that means something else, and you know Google's a jack. Nonetheless, despite his misgivings, Laughlin could not argue with the results. In fact, he couldn't help but express his admiration for the way the Golden State was carrying out its eugenics program. To California, he wrote, effusively, must be given the credit for making the most of her sterilization laws. The history of the application of these statutes shows an honest and competent effort to improve the racial qualities of future generations. Note, here the use of the words racial qualities that Laughlin employed in his paean to the California Eugenics. Nowhere in the text of the original 1909 law, 1909 people, law, were these words used. Nowhere. Nor were they in the 1913 statute that replaced it. Nor were they when the law was amended in 1917. The Great War had just ended. The World's Fair had come to a complete halt. Now, it still runs on even to this day, but it's stuff is hypocrisy is what you see today. And in 1923, one is tempted to ponder what went through the minds of these folks upon reading these sentiments. But since they have all long since departed this world, we will never know. One thing we do know for certain is that the German eugenics and the Führer, who commanded them to do his bidding, looked time and again to their counterparts across the Atlantic Ocean for guidance in creating the perfect race of men. When I talked about the fact that they were manipulating genes, that's why they had the Cabbage Patch babies. They were even growing melanated babies, and they run around you, these relatives, and they're not you. They're from Europe. They don't know who they are, but they're over you. You better believe that. Not in reality, but they've been conditioned and trained. Who do you think Obama's father? Oh, he was Kenyan. What makes you think they didn't have Cabbage Patch babies over there too? See, all we do is think here. You don't look at Russia. You don't look at the UK. You don't look at nowhere. Not even China. You don't even pay attention. You just get one track. I'm advising you to research this and see how big it was. Because Coney Island was adrift and babies being popped out every friggin' day like molasses pouring out a jar. It was slow and procedural, but it was poured. Their counterparts across the Atlantic Ocean for guidance in creating the perfect race of men. A race of men that was unlike any the world had ever seen before. Where's the? Oh, here it is. They had to get the so-called white race right. Like I said, y'all didn't exist before the 1600s. It's not my problem. Go talk to them, and that's the fact. The light-skins that were with us, they wanted to immolate them, but they had to kill them once they got a hang of it, and using the DNA and everything. But that's why there's still many pale skins who have O negative and O positive blood. But don't say I didn't tell you. Like I said, you have a lot of pale skinned brothers and sisters, and y'all have no idea because you've been nurtured and reared and ugly. And a lot of people in Central and South America, besides the Gujarat ones, a lot of them, I can't say it's a whitewash job, but when you have two groups of people raping the women who are very young and killed off all the men, that's why I get pissed off at some of our Latin relatives. They're not Latin, but our Spanish brothers and sisters who don't know that their energy is focused in the wrong place. If they would sit down and slow down and listen to some of us who know, they'd realize that they mammy. They were, a lot of them died, but a lot of them were being raped at 9, 12, 13 years old. And they were being raped by these people who you see now. Not all of them are bad. This is what you need to understand. But the reality of history, why is it a lot of our Latin brothers don't look like Chinese? Well, it's new Chinese. Because that's not what the land was called. Those are new people. They conquered Japan, and then they became the Japanese. Two groups of people, the Gujarats and these Mongols. Both are Ket. It's like they went and conquered Hindustan, small parts, and everywhere else. Only in a place of Africa where the people went down did they fight back. And King Leopold, he wasn't no king. He was subjugated. Don't think that he didn't get his butt whipped, because when he started, there's a reason why they ran up out of there, the Dutch, as fast as they did. But a lot of people have a hard time believing in the fictional story of Simeon Motoko. And it's not fiction. Skilled in exposing expositions. And this, even though the time frames seem different, now y'all are very aware that religion, as far as Christianity, which is one and the same with Hinduism, and they can't even read the majority, over like 80 to 90% of their scrolls, because they lost that when the war happened upon them. So that's why I got a lot of Hindu brothers who I respect and I have nothing but utter, and they, no disdain. And they will sit there, and if they was to sit here, they could tell you. They'd be hugging on me, and they're like, all that kisses to hell, bro, but I mean, because there's a difference, because they can't stand a lot of the people over there who are part of this melee that's going on, and they know their history. They don't know everything, but they know that part that because they're the ones that told me. So I'm only speaking as an authority based on what they say. You see what I'm saying? So they said, and I asked 1,001 questions. I'm gonna relay it the way they fine-tuned it in me. Even that old black cat, one of the original black cats, the plays golf, the doctor who told me about the medication. I was only supposed to be on for 5 or 6 weeks, but the VA been poisoning a lot of veterans for a long time. All right? Now, exposing expositions, 1851 and 1915. This is how they Mikasa revised 2021, Court of Shalagua. Go and look at original Lone Wolf. He went and did a video showing this statue. I told y'all it's a melanated woman. Most people didn't want to believe it. I was like, okay, well, they repainted it out. It's still a melanated woman. They took it and moved it. All right, it's still in the same place. I got to go look at the video again or hit my brother up. Court of Honors. This is not the original color. They whitewashed it to create this fictional white history dynamic to these fake individuals that they had to create, synthesize, using our DNA, a whole lot of different DNA, and that's where ergo the Cabbage Patch Babies, incubators, and all that other stuff. All right. And so much more stuff that I don't really want to go into. All right, let's pick it up. Some in this alternative historical research community believe that these fires might be plasma discharges from the solar system or dome firmament, depending who is making the suggestion. Did y'all look into the spreaks? Did y'all see that there's this red lightning that is always enveloped up there that you can't see? Even right now, the aurora borealis that happens in different specific places, that is based on the so-called magnetic whatever, that is just the ether. That's the natural energy that most of you can't, that's contained in certain, that's not the polar, because that is definitely not at the very center of this, which is they consider the North Pole, which is fictional. I told you to look at Agatha and look at these things and stop allowing them to brainwash you with this delusional nasa in Yiddish, nasal, to deceive or deception. Okay? So the spree, look into that. All that lightning is happening up there dancing around, and then what happens is it hits the upper clouds. Then you have the lightning from the ground. And so you have this, all right? So let's get back into it. Solar system are dome firmament, depending on who was making the suggestion. Now, some see them as worldwide volcanic earthquake upheaval. Others see them as deliberately started, perhaps EMP, electromagnetic pulse devices, in order to destroy many of the old ancient buildings of the cities, or at least as a way to kill off the inhabitants very quickly without the need for ground warfare. It is definitely something to think of, for there is almost no U.S. or Canadian city in the late 1800s, early 1900s that did not go through a major fire explosion. A few even claim that it is the result of an H.G. Wells' real-life War of the Worlds alien attack and takeover of Earth. Now, y'all remember when I was reading Howdy Mikowski's and the daughter of Mr. Robbins, right, was talking about how these things were going around killing and destroying, and that in the first Heavens Bearers, how they actually did the same thing and murdered all these people, cleaning up after the mud flood, going in there, subjugating, murdering them, and taking the children off to send to these youngling schools. All right, which actually happened. So H.G. Wells' real-life War of the Worlds alien attack and takeover of Earth. I am not going to go that far, but again, since we have no idea what really occurred here, even that has to be kept on the table as a possibility. Recall Wells wrote that, Mr. H.G. Wells wrote that the story in the 1890s in England, almost at the end of his fire phenomenon. And you know H.G. Wells couldn't stand this. An staunch racist, right along with Rockefeller, who worked with Margaret Sanger to make sure they can kill us all off. And y'all like to look at that fat little, not Alfred Hitchcock, he was another goofy, but H.G. Wells, he couldn't stand you. Do I believe that the photos we see of the destruction are genuine? Very much so. I've looked at them over and over and over. But I speculate that the photos are perhaps not in the year claimed, but perhaps hundreds of years previous. Exactly. Perhaps 1771 for Chicago and 1789 for Seattle, for example. That then allows for an extra 100 years to rebuild the destroyed city, which would make more sense, from standard building logic. But this ties into the questioning of narrative of photography. On the other hand, we have newspaper reports about the fires, usually coming out of the next day, and offering official narrative reasons for the fire. Cow knocks over a bucket, girl is playing with matches, bird knocks over some glue, or some other simple explanations. Never again examined or looked at by anyone in authority. That's crazy. Y'all gonna like it when we get to the next part. Anyway, I may also speculate that the fire disasters are not years apart, happening in every city in North America over a 100-year period. My guess they might be one continent-wide event that happened over a short time frame. Perhaps it was some sort of continent-wide natural disaster such as earthquakes, volcanoes, or even actual attacks by unknown technology to prevent all the fires, all the fires in their correct years. Unknown technology, remember that, y'all. Now, anyway, years would lead to obvious questions, so they spread out the dates to make it look like just random acts. While I cannot fully prove it yet, the hunches and circumstantial evidence are pointing to the fire being some form of an act of war. Now, what I'm going to say, if you're getting some trolls coming in, be mindful, right? Because see, the AI, when I asked the AI of my boy, because he has like this real AI thing, it said, oh, those buildings were not, they were blown up. If you got AI, check it out. So if you got any trolls in here, they might be some old goofy fake Masonic monkeys or whatever, okay? Too bad you're not reading comments at the moment. Perhaps another time, if you're interested, we can share some knowledge, as long as I don't get timed out. So I don't need nobody to tell me anything about Tartary. I've been studying and checking and seeing those places since 1974, my brother. Okay? Nobody can tell me anything. Geostones, thermals, anything. Nobody. There's nobody that can tell me anything. It's all made. Yeah, it's all, yeah, that's right, Fuse. Free Palestine. Dude, man, get out of here. See, I'm not with the people, the Philistines dying that way, but don't come over here with that shit. New York, what's going on in New York Minute? Excuse my language. Where does the Aurora Borealis come from? Why has it got to come from somewhere? Why can it not just exist as is? See, I'm serious. And I'm very assertive in these matters and affairs. I've seen that thing over 1,000 times in both places. And I've seen it where it's not in no poll. All right? I actually saw it when I was living in New York that one time when you were able to see it if you're in Buffalo. So, it exists all the time. It's not where it's from. It doesn't need an explanation. And you don't know. Trust me. So is he saying that Christianity is just a Protestant origin? Like Islam? Exactly. It's exactly what it is. It is made up. Stories, composites, to control people. Somewhere. Appreciate that, Joe. But no, it's all made. No, seriously. I'm really big in this. I've been doing this for a very long time. And I'm still doing it. It doesn't stop. I'm always off in the canyon. I just don't say nothing about it. I'm hiking a lot. I say, there's things that I have to go and see. The government doesn't know everything. All right? DeAndre. What is it from polytheistic? Well, you can get rid of the polytheistic paganisms as well, because most of it's not paganism. A lot of it comes from actual stories, but they've reinvented and created new narratives. I mean, just, to put it there. Let me finish reading this, and I'll look at some more questions, all right? We got 2 more books to get through. Now, to present all the fires in their correct years would lead to obvious questions, so they spread out the dates to make it look like just random acts. While I cannot fully prove it yet, the hunches and circumstantial evidence are pointing to the fire being in some form as, again, an act of war, to which it was. While at this point, I, nor it seems does anyone else, has the answers as to what really happened. Well, too bad he didn't. And Kyle Mikowski, if you ever come across this reading and you're not bothered by all the so-called swearing, you can ask me any question you want based upon especially the so-called fake East Coast, which is actually the West Coast. But, and Tartary, period. This is being the Republic. Well, at this point, I know our boss want to catch a okay, anyway, taken from us. All with this knowledge were gotten rid of. Listen to this. All we can tell at this point is that our past, heritage, knowledge, health, and life were all taken from us. Some was given brand new to a people that never existed. All with this knowledge were gotten rid of. Be they Indians, Cathars, the real people that they call China today, and Japan and New Islands, Romans, ancient Egyptians, which was a period of a complete system all over this realm, even to Antarctica, Americans, Tartarians, you name it. The native Indians, Cathars, and the population of ancient Rome might all have been getting slaughtered at the same moment, just at different places on the earth. Very wise individual this one is. I have often hated to read historical books that promise to answer the unsolved question of whatever the subject is, from pyramids to custard to Stalingrad, yet nothing is answered. I don't have answers either, nor have I claimed to. What I have is enough evidence to present that standard history of the recount 200 years of our timeline is a giant lie, nor do I dig into here or recent events such as the JFK assassination, the moon landings, or the exploration of Antarctica. But all our recent lies all come out of the period just prior to 1915. That period of time is the foundation of everything that has come after. Now, what's funny is you do have custodians, you do have individuals, we use the word custodians, who know the history, the real history. But they don't know a lot of things. And there's a lot of things they won't remember. So if you're one of them, don't come over here, because I ain't going to tell you everything. At least stupid. I am hopeful answers will appear. Of course, truth I will read to you, based on those who are wake up. Of course, truth eventually will be revealed, but it may or might take a long time for that to occur. But if enough finally demand the end of being lied to, it might come sooner. And if your energy is focused there, that's what happens. That's why they want to World War III, and they want to get rid of as many as possible, because the moment any of you start coming into the truth of light, I mean really coming into it, not this fictional state you're all in, where you all think you know everything, you don't know nothing. But when you really walk in it, you'll realize that you won't have to be here. You'll be out there doing what needs to be done to make sure that other individuals, because of your energy, you draw those in who really want to know. Those who don't, they're easy to dismiss. Those who have egos that they have to stroke, you get rid of them. They'll run off anyway, because they'll be too busy wanting to reinterpret, misinterpret based on the little bit of knowledge they think they have. You dig what I'm saying? People are always crying about Palestine. I'm aware of Mount Meru. Okay. It's all me. Yes. Yes. You already know, New York Minute. You already know, beloved. All right, so let me go ahead and get in. We got to finish this one. I'm tired of talking about this sorry Zionist banking thing, and this one's hard to read. And no, I didn't go ahead and I didn't have the time there with my little type things, and I don't think they're the right size anyway, because the pink page is shrunk. These things are a little bigger than these, so I'm gonna attempt to read this as best as I can. So bear with me. So here we are in Behold the Pale Horse by Mr. William Cooper. Okay, we are quite a ways in. I can't wait to get into that's Mr. Will Cooper, who they murdered. Okay, let's see if I can get this on July 3rd. Let me turn this light on, y'all, because this is missing. I'm gonna hold it up so you can see it again. Now, what you're seeing is exactly what I'm seeing, and then they don't need to focus. There's no focus into this, bro. Even I thought it was like something was wrong with my eyes. No, that is the way it is. Look at the difference over here. Let me look. All right. No, you can actually read those. No, that's how it actually looks. Okay. On July 3rd, 1986, man, that must be my third year in the Navy. In the absence of jurisdiction, in the absence of a valid arrest warrant, in the absolute absence as a matter of law of any crime, I was arrested in Georgia for interstate transportation of falsely made securities. Now, the securities in question, the only securities made, the subject matter of the charges against me were, oh my goodness. Look, I'm gonna hold this up. I can't even make that word up. That was look right where my fingertip is. I can't even. Is that it can't be a th. Can you see that? Oh my goodness. All right, hold on. Let me do it. War. Oh. By the State Bank of void checks. Excuse me. That's what it says. Okay. Each one of which was appropriately stamped on the reverse side to be privately cleared outside of the Federal Reserve System. Whoa. Contrary to congressional legislation, I was given no extradition hearing, but was held in Georgia for my removal to Minnesota for arraignment. Now, my arraignment took place contrary to legislated time limit prescriptions. I was also denied counsel of any choice. Well, they went hard on homie, y'all. My trial did not take place within the statutory maximum 90 days. It could say 80, I don't know, it looks like 90 days, because it doesn't have nothing on the bottom. Days of my continued incarceration from July 3rd, 1996. So it was 90 days. I was denied permission to have witnesses, My subpoena demands were ignored. What word is that? Oh, excluding. I can't. There's two words I can't even see them. Excluding evidence was provided. God dog. Now, when I attempted to fire my attorney, public defender, to better conduct the remainder of my trial myself, I was denied. You can't be denied firing your attorney. You cannot do that. You know what I'm saying? It's just no way. I mean, whoa. You got rid of that idiot, bro. Oh, excuse me. You got rid of that idiot? Yeah, he's gone. No one could have lost when it was our assets at risk backing our credit. Did you hear that? Listen to this. Listen to this. No one could have lost when it was our assets at risk backing our credit. If it's our credit and our assets, how can they be in control of it? See, this is what gets me. They got this credit thing, and the further stupid people who believe that they beat it because they think they know what they're doing and have this 8-point-something credit score, it's because they're allowing it. And these people will run around blind to any truth in their fiction. You see how they move? Now imagine when it's worthless. Which it already is. In direct accordance with congressionally instituted legislation and in compliance with 12 CFR section 225.4, it said, when I pointed this out in court and demanded that it be produced, the court refused. It was clear I was to be jailed. My crimes, this is better right here. My crimes were my foolishness in believing the U.S. Constitution's guarantee of my innocence and my right to equal commercial ability and protection. And clearly my arrogance in believing that such constitutional provisions would provide sufficient protection against the now obliviously corrupted instruments of the U.S. judicial system. They are be looking at here, man. They are very corrupt. I am a British, so the windows open don't mean you can stare, because I'll come out there. I am a British citizen, and that's just the way it works. I'm a British citizen. I am not a juridical resident of D.C. under 26 U.S.C. section 7701A39. You all might want to write this down. He is a British citizen. He is not a juridical resident of D.C. under 26 U.S.C. section 7701A39 or otherwise. Now, the United Nations Convention implements congressional guarantees unto my government that I shall enjoy the full weight of the protection of the law of the United States. That's D.C. That is not this land. Instead, well beyond the peer review of any legislative authority, I was subjected to an Admiralty jurisdictionary Article 1 tribunal called United States District Court. That's maritime law. That's where you get into legalese. That talks about all those craps and you being caps, all caps and fiction. No constitutionality, proper district court of the United States to a trial for an invented crime that is legislatively impossible to commit. Mr. Harbor, the U.S. Probation Service congressional delegate, made a mistake with my sentencing guidelines, which should have been worst case 14-18 months. If that's 14, a little bit over about a year and a half months. He instead provided the court with a 56 to 64 month range. Damn. That's what do all melanated people get? They're welcome to the party. Given the judge's appointment by trilateral President Carter and relationship to the Federal Reserve Director, I told you Carter was nothing but a piece of garbage, a handmaid. The court quite apparently sentenced me to 10 years in prison, not to protect the people, but to protect the Federal Reserve's fraud against the people. I so publicly accuse. During the past 4 years of this sentence, evidence upon evidence of civil and criminal conspiracy has been presented to such lawfully persons as Senator Joseph Biden. Let me say that. Let me say that again. Let me say that shit again. During the past 4 years of this sentence, evidence upon evidence of civil and criminal conspiracy has been presented to such lofty persons as Senator Joseph Biden, the Attorney General, the Inspector General, and more, to no avail save continued and continuing abuse of process and overt falsehoods being made part of court records, proven to be false by conflicting U.S. government agency source records, where to whom can one turn to regain as a human right. Now, a civil right, and we created the civil right, which is the Indian Civil Right Act, and both a constitutional and NATO instituted right, my freedom. Never was their intent to defraud, only ever to wrest from the chains, my apologies, chains of debt, a suffocating government and her people. I so swear to the absolute best of my knowledge, belief, I hate when they use the word belief, and recollection. The foregoing is the unadulterated truth. Okay? And y'all need to remember that this is the story of Jonathan May. So May was the name of the individual. I just wanted to see if you were paying attention. So tomorrow we'll be getting into the documentation, chapter 16, the U.S. Army intelligence connection with the Satanic Church, which is pretty interesting. Like I said, I've read a little bit. You know how I feel about all this Satan Lucifer shit, especially when they disrespecting my name. I need a little bit more of this ginger lime. Man, I just don't know nothing about that. Get you about a thumb size worth of ginger, lukewarm water, okay, about a shot of lime juice, real lime juice, and then about 2 cups of water, and let it sit overnight in the fridge. You can put some echinacea, the flour, in there, and let it sit as well. It's excellent. Is the flag in the... There's a lot of people saying nothing. Anunnaki, what's going on? What's happening? What's happening, Texas? My dream is to live. Seems like American lifestyle is good. She okay? I don't know about that, bro. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, JB? Excuse me. I know some of you are not subscribed who come to do your little worthless, whatever you call it. So I'll just remove you. Excuse me. Yeah, you're a fake Jew. You gotta go. It don't matter even if your name's fake. I don't want you here. So let's get into Heaven Bearers, the New Age of Deception, Janine Helen. Excellent read. Let's go and see if we can keep it up. I'm a little tired, y'all. 8. I've been running around. I've been out in the sun and the weather. I got my little exercise on pretty good today, so you can see I'm sweating. I haven't had the AC on in the last 3 days. I think I turned it up. Did I turn it on? No, I didn't turn it on last night. I actually had the window open because it was a nice cool breeze, both windows. And the door was unlocked. I don't know. I be saying just lock the door, Red. I don't know what's wrong with me, man. Come in here if you want. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back to it. Hi, my name is Ebony. She holds out her hand. Ebony? Right, Ebony. It's lovely to meet you. He takes her hand and gives it a polite squeeze and looks for Cole, who is seated in front of an old typewriter, the one his sister bought him from the auction house a year after his accident. Every real writer has to have one of these, she told him, and proudly handed him his gift. Cole, can I have a word? He asked, slightly embarrassed by which is intrusion, and for interrupting their time together. Ebony takes, I wish they just take their times when they put in all these little extra is and ain'ts and ands, and anyway. Ebony takes the hint. I anyway need to go, she smiles, and picks up her beige leather handbag, with a white and pink bow attached to the strap, and see you later. The door clicks in as she presses it closed, and Dr. Woot immediately reaches into his pocket to retrieve the piece of paper. As he pulls it out, a few feathers fall to the floor, and they grab, and listen to this, and they grab Cole's attention. He gets up from behind his desk and studies the feathers on the floor carefully. Dr. Woot is saying something, but he blocks it out completely, focusing on the feathers instead. "Where did you get these?" he asks, holding the feathers in his hand. "Cole, I need an answer from you. Why did you write me the note, and what does it mean?" he interjects, not interested in answering his question in the very least. "Did you see the owl?" he asks again, more firmly, forcing him to acknowledge his question. "What owl?" "Now, Cole, listen, I need you to answer. These feathers, they came from the owl. I recognize them. If you look at them closely, they shine as if covered with just a little bit of gold dust." He twists the feather slowly in the air, revealing a glimpse of the gold coloring. Stunned, Dr. Cole picks up one of the feathers and moves it against the light. "I want you to replicate what Cole just showed him." He was right. It did have a slight golden glow to it, as he kept inspecting it, amazed by what he is seeing. "Cole, what did you write down on the piece of paper?" he asked him, wanting him to answer the question honestly. "It's the start of what Cole," well, he pleads for a complete answer. "The start of the next global war." He finally answers, and watches the blood drain from his face. Excuse me, guys, because it's got some bad grammatical errors here. It's quite a few. It's about eight. I'm actually have to go and mark this so I can correct this in case somebody else reads this book. It's got is where is does not need to be. Excuse me for 1 second, guys. It's got in where in shouldn't be. Go and line up under that. It's got and without a what owl? With a question, should have a mark. Now, Cole, listen, with a drag on it, semicolon, so let's put that in there. I don't know why they don't do this. If they have a ghostwriter, they still should be able to do this. I need you to answer. And even though this is space, you can put semicolon, you can put, which colon, or you can put a question mark, as in, at the very end of the line, which they don't do. They have a colon, which is wrong. Thank goodness I don't do people's homework. And it's about 5 more now, and on the second page. So I just wanted to read that last little part. I could have read it yesterday, but like I said, because I really wanted to get into chapter 6. But we're going to pick that up tomorrow. We're going to read about, they're big chapters, about 3 chapters, so it'll be quite a bit. And as you know, it's going to get juicy. That's my little man. I was wondering what. Anyway, so tomorrow when we get into the Satanic and Army, Satanic Church and the Army, we're going to read about. Where's it marking over here? Excuse me. It's going to be right about page 113. So if you're following along, I'm not going to tell you where it's going to stop, but it's going to be at the end of 113. So we're in chapter 6, and it really starts to get really good here. All right? This is almost just laying out what's going on as far as what happened to Homegirl and the fact that what they thought they destroyed would escape because of Mother Nature and all that stuff. That he has his things still here. And that's why I was talking about the world we live in. There are still things here, even unbeknownst to you, that move like you, look like you. That's why when I tell people They Live is a documentary, people say I was crazy. And I said, well, look it up. There wasn't no Google internet at that time to be able to do that. So you had to go and look it up. You know what I'm saying? The rights and the write-ups on it at the time. I think the internet was around, but as far as being able to pull up the information, wasn't available. You had to go and read about it. And it was there, a documentary. You know what I'm saying? With Robert Downey. What was his name again, y'all? The wrestler. I forget his name. Anyway, unimportant. What was that? Yeah, Anunnaki up in the house. What's going on, man? What's going on, beloved? Hold on, let me do this. Something's wrong here. Okay, there we go. Roddy, yeah, Rodney Piper. Rodney Piper. And here I was a big wrestling fan. Used to be up late at night, 1 to 2 o'clock, watching Buzzsaw and all those guys, Butch Reed and all. Man, what's wrong with me? Charles Atlas. I used to be up there like a fanatic, me and my brother Dwight. And then the Kung Fu Theater, we be Kung Fu and then they're hitting the wrestling moves. And then mama come down there with them damn chocolatas and them belts and switches and shit. And sometimes she had to pull out the 38, man. We be out in the streets, man. And Keith David, yeah. New York, thank you, New York Minute, appreciate that. Yeah, Marcus, I got you, beloved. This is what happens when I get tired. I don't. It's like I start shutting down, not completely. Like the guys will tell you when I'm going to go to bed, I'll be like, yo, I'm heading up. I say, but you better believe that I'm paying attention. I hear everything. You know what I'm saying? Not paranoia. I tell y'all to operate in paranoia until you realize that you can, phonetically, you can just wake up. It don't matter what's going on. I mean, if somebody was to breathe different and they could be 3 floors down, you would sense it. I can't go into it, but this is some real stuff. All right, so that's why it's important for y'all to, like, whenever you see me come over and I'm reading something about the science of the sacred secretion or the power of now or whatever else, there's other books I have. Like, take it and apply it in your life. You know what I'm saying? Oh, at my age, we're young, bro. I appreciate it, but now I'm young, man. But yeah, man, appreciate that, man. Nothing but respect and honor, bro. But if y'all made donations, I'm not gonna look until tomorrow. Hopefully Friday or maybe next week. But we're looking at 20th. Hopefully T will get here. All right, because he's probably gonna get a U-Haul. I know it costs a bit, but I would prefer him to bring his truck here so he can leave it. But when he comes here, I think he's coming. He's gonna be here for good. That's why it's important. I hope he can drag his truck. I know that he works with his brother. Blah blah blah. Anyway, I'll talk to him more about it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, guys. I appreciate y'all stepping in to listen to read. Go over to my TikTok account, subscribe, because I'm going to read other things that I'm not going to read again. If y'all didn't go back to read or listen to the videos before, I'm going to do it over there. And I'm actually going to be probably set up to be the first one that actually just reads on TikTok. And that I'll be doing even and we get down by Tucson and everything else. I will read all the time. And that's because I know there's a lot of people who really enjoys reading. And you guys excuse me because I'm tired. So the little fumbling happens. You dig what I'm saying? Don't lay it there. Yeah, put it behind the truck. You can put all of them right up by it or right under it. You can throw them in the bed of the truck. It's my little jits, yo. Because they're doing work over here, so. Boy, just put it behind the truck, boy. Don't you scratch the truck. Hey, boy. I know it's material, but it's mine. God dang. He's put the architect laying under the back of it. Nobody's gonna mess with it. Nobody's gonna steal it. He gonna try a little tiny thing. I was messing with that. You can't get. I could have popped the thing down. Where's my remote? It's over there. I'm not getting up. Anyway, I appreciate y'all taking the time, man. The windows cracked like that just to get the airflow with the back being cracked because the lady's got like 3 or 4 cats. She's a cat freak and she's liberal. But anyway. This one's at the window, scratching on the window, so I got like a little so the air can come through with the fan, and it's cool, even though you see me sweating a little bit. You know what I'm saying? DeAndre, what's going on, beloved? And you, man, have a go. Yo, I appreciate y'all, man. Nothing but mad respect. Love you too, baby. Yeah, that's my old lady right there, man. So I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all in the AM, man. Unless I upload stuff, there's a lot of stuff I could upload. All right. My beloved sisters, for those who didn't speak up, and my brothers, you already know. Let's protect them sisters. Let's protect them children. All right? And let's protect ourselves. Because where I'm going, T and I, and a few other people, we're the militia. And you need to be able and capable of a lot of things in this world today. All right? So I'll see y'all in AM, and we're going to do a good dust up. I'm going to get y'all I'm gonna give y'all some good tidbits on further bettering your meditation. As I suggested, go and look at Grandmaster Cam Lee. That was my 5 ancestral Gung Fu teacher for about almost 20 years. Okay, check him out. I appreciate y'all.